Hello, good morning everyone, and you're welcome to Biostudy Pathshala. Here on this side, I'm Niranjana Sharkar with you, wishing you a very safe and happy day ahead. Today's class will be on gametogenesis, and it is the topic which belongs to developmental biology unit. So stay tuned till the last of this class to gather to know about this procedure in details. So what is gametogenesis? Gametogenesis is combination form of two words. These are gametes and genesis. So what is the meaning of gametes and genesis? Gamete means the reproductive unit of any kind of living organism, while genesis means the production. That means gametogenesis is the procedure to production of the reproductive unit. So here is the new term is reproductive unit. So we have to know what is the reproductive unit. Reproductive unit is either sperm or ovum in general case. Sperm is male gamete while ovum is female gamete. So the collectively the production of these gametes is known as gametogenesis. But if we focus only on the sperm production or only on the ovum production, we have to know respectively spermatogenesis or oogenesis. And spermatogenesis takes place in the male body while oogenesis or the ovum production takes place in the female body. It is the structure of sperm while it is the structure of ovum. So we will know about oogenesis first. As I have mentioned before that oogenesis is the procedure of the formation of ovum. That means it takes place in a female body. In case of oogenesis, that means the production of the ovum takes place by asymmetric division. Although we have learned about asymmetric division in our previous developmental biology class, so those who have not any idea about the asymmetric division, they can follow previously uploaded developmental biology class, or I may provide the link of our previously developmental biology class on the description box below. So primary oocyte firstly divides asymmetrically to form secondary oocyte and first polar body. In this structure, it should be oogonium and its status is 2n, that means diploid. It divides further by mitosis procedure. That means primary oocyte again will be in 2n or diploid nature, and after this stage the meiosis procedure takes place. This is meiosis 1 while this is meiosis 2. So in this stage the 2n will be in haploid cell. That means here first meiosis takes place and forms a secondary oocyte which is haploid in nature and first polar body which is again haploid in nature. And after that secondary oocyte and first polar body goes for meiosis 2 division, and upon this meiosis 2 division the secondary oocyte forms a mature ovum, second polar body, and first polar body forms again two polar bodies. So in this total procedure or oogenesis, totally 3 polar bodies are formed and one functional ovum is produced. And what is oocyte? Oocyte is the main gametocyte or the female gametocyte from which ovum develops. In this chart, I have provided this procedure step by step. So let's have a look. This process starts from before birth. That means oogenesis takes place when a female body is in mother womb, and mitosis takes place in oogonium, that is the first cell which is 2n in nature and increases the number of the primary oocytes by equal division, that means mitosis. Primary oocytes, that means this phase, arrested in prophase 1 phase. Mainly it is arrested in diplotin subphase, because there much more protein factors are needed for the oogenesis process, but when we are in mother womb the protein factors cannot act, or there might be the protein factors are lacking. That's why before birth the primary oocytes are arrested in prophase 1 phase. After birth, mainly during puberty, meiosis takes place, and the primary oocytes form secondary oocyte and first polar body by first meiosis division, that is the asymmetric division, and secondary oocyte remains again in metaphase 2. In this phase, the secondary oocytes remains arrested. So why the secondary oocytes again be arrested in metaphase 2? Because it lacks centriole, and centriole is very much crucial for the completion of any kind of cell division, and here it is meiosis 2, and because of the lacking of the centriole in case of secondary oocyte, this process cannot proceed further, and to completion of the meiosis 2 it needs a sperm's centriole, that means a sperm. If a sperm meets the secondary oocyte, then the meiosis 2 can be completed, and if it is not, that means if the ovum is not mated with the sperm, it cannot complete the meiosis 2 procedure, and the secondary oocyte, that means from the metaphase 2 the secondary oocyte exited from the female body in the form of menstruation cycle. So this is the colorful diagram of the total oogenesis procedure. As I have mentioned, the first cell or the first mother cell of the ovum production is oogonium, which is diploid in nature. After mitosis or after equal division, it forms primary oocyte, which is again 2n in nature or diploid in nature, and it is arrested as primary oocyte in female fetus because here proteins are lacking, and after birth, mainly adolescence or puberty period, the first meiosis takes place and two cells are formed. One is secondary oocyte and second one is primary polar body. Primary polar body further forms two polar bodies, and secondary oocyte remains in its quiescent state because it lacks centriole. If a sperm comes and mates with this ovum, then the meiosis 2 completes and secondary polar body forms, and again a fertilized egg or zygote can be formed. So before this line, the cell cycle is of mitosis, and after this line, the cell division is of meiosis. So I hope this diagram is helpful for you to understand the oogenesis procedure. Next is spermatogenesis. That means the procedure to form the sperms, and we have to know or we have to remember that the production of the sperm is always occurred by symmetric division. That means one cell divides to form two exactly similar kind of cells. Either it may be in shape, size or in physiological nature as well. So upon this symmetric division, the spermatogonium produces first or primary spermatocyte, and from this primary spermatocyte, meiosis 1 takes place, and the spermatogonium and primary spermatocytes are diploid in nature. After meiosis 1, two cells are formed. These are secondary spermatocyte and they are in haploid nature, and they are exactly look alike. That means they are symmetrical cells and they are all viable. After meiosis 2, each cells again produce two cells, that means totally 4 cells. These 4 cells are known as spermatid, and from these 4 spermatid the sperm will be differentiated. So spermatids are actually incipient sperms. They have the potential to become a sperm, but they are not functionally active sperm. That is why this is known as spermatid. So I have discussed the diagram, so now let's have a look to the informations. So the spermatogenesis is the formation of the sperm, and it is symmetric division. First spermatocyte divides symmetrically. You have to take a note that it is symmetrically, while the oogenesis happens as asymmetrically, and first spermatocyte divides symmetrically to form secondary spermatocyte, and here no polar bodies are found. You can see that from one spermatogonium, 4 sperms are formed. But in case of oogenesis, one oogonium gives result to one functional ovum and 3 polar bodies, and those polar bodies are not functional in case of fertilization. So in case of spermatogenesis, here no polar bodies are formed and all 4 sperms are functional, and the spermatocyte is the male gametocyte from which the sperms can develop. And this process starts after birth, mainly during puberty or during adolescence. And firstly, meiosis takes place in spermatogonium and increases its number as primary spermatocytes. After the birth, mainly during puberty, meiosis takes place and primary spermatocytes form. After birth, during puberty, meiosis takes place in primary spermatocyte to form secondary spermatocyte, and it happens by a symmetric division, and this secondary spermatocyte further form the spermatids. As you can see, that secondary spermatocyte form the spermatids, and from the spermatids, sperms can be differentiated. It is not produced, it is just differentiation, that means to gain its final fate. And the differentiation from the spermatid to functional sperms or spermatozoa, this procedure is known as spermiogenesis. So now let's have a look to a colorful diagram of the spermatogenesis. So as I have mentioned that spermatogonium is 2n in nature, that means diploid in nature, and here mitosis takes place. By mitosis, it increases its number and forms primary spermatocyte, and it is again diploid in nature. After that, meiosis takes place and it is meiosis 1. By meiosis 1, 2 exactly look-alike cells are formed, and these cells are known as secondary spermatocyte. And again from these 2 haploid cells, meiosis 2 takes place. This is meiosis 2. And each cell produces 2 cells further, so totally 4 cells are formed, and these 4 cells are again haploid in nature and known as spermatids, and this spermatids further differentiates to form its final fate, that means the motile sperm. So before this line, the mitosis takes place, and after this line or after this border, meiosis takes place in case of spermatogenesis. So this is the summary of the gametogenesis. Spermatogenesis, that means the production of the sperm, and oogenesis, that means production of ovum. So I hope till now it is helpful for you. So let's see what we can learn in our next slide. So it states the comparison between the oogenesis and the spermatogenesis procedure. Just it's a quick revision of the oogenesis and the spermatogenesis. It is the formation of ovum in case of oogenesis, and it is the formation of the sperm in case of spermatogenesis. Asymmetric division takes place in case of oogenesis, while the symmetric division takes place in case of spermatogenesis. Primary oocyte divides asymmetrically to form secondary oocyte and polar body, while spermatocyte divides symmetrically to form secondary spermatocyte. Here 3 polar bodies are formed, but here no polar bodies are formed. In case of oogenesis, only 1 functional ovum can be produced, while in case of spermatogenesis, 4 functional sperms can be produced. Female gametocyte from which the ovum can develop is known as oocyte, while in case of male gametocyte, it is known as spermatocyte. And the oogenesis procedure starts from before birth in case of female fetus, while the spermatogenesis starts after birth in case of male human body. So next is the diagrammatic comparison between the oogenesis and the spermatogenesis. As you can see, it is primary oocyte. From the primary oocyte, meiosis 1 takes place, and after meiosis 1, a secondary oocyte, here primary oocyte is 2n in nature, secondary oocyte is haploid and it is first polar body. First polar body again haploid in nature, and secondary oocyte and first polar body again goes for meiosis to division, and After meiosis 2, the secondary oocyte forms mature ovum, which is again haploid in nature, forms secondary polar body, which is again haploid in nature, and first polar body divides symmetrically to form two polar bodies further. And in case of spermatogenesis, primary spermatocyte, which is twin in nature, formed symmetrically in case of meiosis 1 to form, meiosis 1 to form two exactly look-alike secondary spermatocyte, and these two are functional. Here first polar body is non-functional, and these two secondary spermatocytes further proceeds meiosis 2 to form four total spermatids, and from these spermatids spermiogenesis takes place to form functional sperm. This procedure is known as spermiogenesis. So thank you guys. I hope this video is helpful for you. Just give a feedback if this lecture is useful for you, and if you found that this video is helpful for you, you can give a like, and if you think that I need an improvement in my lecture, so you can give a suggestion on comment section below. Lastly, share this video and subscribe BioStudy Pathshala to get more videos on life science. Be safe and be healthy. Bye.